everyone. Hello. How are you all? How are you all?
Greetings and salutations. How is everyone?
MJ's just ooh. Oh
Ooh woo?
no. Oh no.
It's ooh woo time?
Hello, MJ. Yes, I'm here with my friend Akeha. We all remember Akeha, right? Some of you should. Some of you should. You're new. Most of you should know Akeha. Yes, yes. All
It's
right.
only been, what, a couple weeks? It's
Couple
fine.
of weeks. Couple of weeks. So I have seen you been lurking in chat a few times.
Oh, I'm always lurking.
You're always welcome.
Good, because you're stuck with me.
Wonderful.
No, you can't say wonderful like that. Hi, everyone. I'm feeling especially blushy today. Don't mind when my head rocks to the side like that. That's just me drinking water. You should all drink water, too.
Hope everyone has some water. Everyone has some water. Oh, disaster? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But thank you for following.
Welcome aboard.
Yes, welcome. All right. So this is Sean's 750 follower celebration, and we're going to try to do a dramatized reading, I guess, of Alice in Wonderland. Oh, thank you, MJ. Hello, Isdes. Hello.
Thank you for the head pats. Witchy, 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 witchy. Oh, is this a dramatized reading? Do I have to speak like this?
It's a reading. It's a reading. Dramatizes. Yeah. Surely.
You'll be dramatic, I'm certain.
Oh yes, I'll be dramatic. Don't worry, don't worry. And a reminder that that I'll be narrating in this voice down here. So I hope you all have a wonderful time. Oh, I understand, MJ. I understand. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Gonna do this whole stream.
Well, shall we begin then? No point in holding it off any longer. John may occasionally jump back up here to have a break, but oh dear. Alright, well, let's begin then. The Adventures of Alice in Wonderland. Chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank, and of having nothing to do. Once or twice, she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it.
And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations?
So, she was considering in her own mind, as well she could, for the day was hot, and it made her feel very sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her side. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it so very much out of the way to hear the rabbit say to itself, oh dear, I shall be late." When she thought of it over afterwards, it occurred to her that she ought to have wondered at this, but at the time it all seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket, and looked at it, and then hurried on, Alice startled to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she should have never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it. And burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it, and fortunately was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. In a moment, down went Alice after it, never once considering how in the world she was ever to get out again. The rabbit hole went straight on like a tunnel for some way, then dipped suddenly down, so suddenly that Alice had not a moment to think about stopping herself before she found herself falling down a very deep well. Either the well was very deep, or she fell very slowly. For she had plenty of time as she went down to look about her and to wonder what was going to happen. First, she tried to look down and make out what she was coming to, but it was too dark to see anything. Then she looked at the sides of the well and noticed that they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Here and there she saw small maps and pictures hung upon the pegs. She took down a jar from one of the shelves as she passed it. It was labeled orange marmalade, but to her great disappointment, it was empty. She did not like to drop the jar for fear of killing someone underneath it, so managed to put it into one of the cupboards as she flew past it.
Well, thought Alice to herself, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. How brave they'll all think me at home. Why, I wouldn't say anything about it, even if I fell off the top of the house. Which was very likely true.
Down, down, down. Would the fall never come to an end?
I wonder how many miles I've fallen by this time, she said aloud. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Let me see. That would be 4,000 miles down, I think.
For you see, Alice had learned several things of this sort in her lessons in the schoolroom, and though this was not a very good opportunity for showing off her knowledge, as there was no one to listen to her, still it was good practice to say it over.
Yes, that's about the right distance. But then I wonder what latitude or longitude I've got to.
Presently, she began again.
I wonder if I shall fall right through the earth. How funny it'll seem to come out among the people that walk with their heads downward. The antipathies, I think.
She was rather glad there was no one listening this time, as it didn't sound at all like the right word.
But I shall have to ask them what the name of the country is, you know. Please, ma'am, is this New Zealand or Australia?
And she tried to curtsy as she spoke, fancying courtesying as you're falling through the air. Do you think you could manage it?
And what an ignorant little girl she'll think me for asking. No, it'll never do to ask. Perhaps I shall see it written up somewhere.
Down, down, down. There was nothing else to do, so Alice soon began talking again.
Oh, Dinah will miss me very much tonight, I should think.
Dinah was the cat.
I hope they'll remember her saucer of milk at tea time. Dinah, my dear, I wish you were down here with me. There are no mice in the air, I'm afraid, but you might catch a bat, and that's very like a mouse, you know. But do cats eat bats, I wonder?
And here Alice began to get rather sleepy, and went on saying to herself in a dreamy sort of way,
Do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? And sometimes, do bats eat cats?
For you see, as she couldn't answer either question, it didn't matter much which way she put it. She felt that she was dozing off and had just begun to dream that she was walking hand in hand with Dinah, and saying to her very earnestly,
Now, Dinah, tell me the truth. Did you ever eat a bat?
when suddenly, thump, thump, down she came upon a heap of sticks and dry leaves. The fall was over. Alice was not hurt a bit, and she jumped up to her feet in a moment. She looked up, but it was all dark overhead. Before her was another long passage, and the white rabbit was still in sight, hurrying down it. There was not a moment to be lost. Away went Alice, like the wind, and was just in time to hear it say, as it turned the corner, "Oh, my ears and whiskers! How late it's getting!" She was close behind it when she turned the corner, but the rabbit was no longer to be seen. She found herself in a long, low hallway, which was lit by a row of lamps hanging from the roof. There were doors all round the hall, but they were all locked, and Alice had been all the way down one side and up the other, trying every door. She walked sadly down the middle, wondering how she would ever get out again. Suddenly, she came to a little three-legged table, all made of solid glass. There was nothing on it, except for a tiny golden key, and Alice's first thought was that it might belong to one of the doors in the hall, but alas, either the locks were too large or the key was too small. But at any rate, it would not open up any of them. However, on the second time round, she came upon a low curtain she had not noticed before, and behind it was a little door, about 15 inches high. She tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her great delight, it fitted. Alice opened the door, and found that it led into a small passage, not much larger than a rat hole. She knelt down and looked along the passage into the loveliest garden you've ever saw. How she longed to get out of the dark hall and wander among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains. But she could not even get her head through the doorway.
And even if my head would go through, thought poor Alice, it would be of very little use without my shoulders. Oh, how I wish I could shut up like a telescope. I think I could, if I only knew how to begin.
For you see, so many out-of-the-way things had happened lately, that Alice had begun to think that very few things indeed were really impossible. There seemed to be no use in waiting by the little door, so she went back to the table, half hoping she might find another key on it, or at any rate a book of rules for shutting people up like telescopes. This time she found a little bottle on it.
Which certainly was not here before, said Alice.
And round the neck of the bottle was a paper label with the words, "Drink me," beautifully printed on it in large letters. It was all very well to say,
"Drink me."
but the wise little Alice was not going to do that in a hurry.
No, I'll look first, she said, and see whether it's marked poison or not.
For she had read several nice little histories about children who had got burnt or eaten up by wild beasts and other unpleasant things, all because they would not remember the simple rules their friends had taught them, such as that a red-hot poker will burn you if you hold it too long, and that if you cut your finger very deep with a knife, it usually bleeds. And she had never forgotten that. If you drink much from a bottle marked poison, it is almost certain to disagree with you sooner or later. However, this bottle was not marked poison, so Alice ventured to taste it, and finding it very nice, in fact, a sort of mixed flavor of cherry tart, custard, pineapple, roasted turkey, toffee, and hot buttered toast, she very soon finished it off.
What a curious feeling, said Alice. I must be shutting up like a telescope.
And so it was indeed. She was not only 10 inches high, and her face brightened up at the thought that she was now the right size for going through the little door into the lovely garden, First, however, she waited a few minutes to see if she was going to shrink any further. She felt a little nervous about this.
"Or it might end, you know," said Alice to herself. "In my going out altogether like a candle. I wonder what I should be like then."
And she tried to fancy what the flame of a candle is like after the candle is blown out, for she could not remember ever having seen such a thing. After a while, finding that nothing more happened, she decided on going into the garden at once. But alas, poor Alice. When she got to the door, she found she had forgotten the little golden key, and when she went back to the table for it, she found she could not possibly reach it. She could see it quite plainly through the glass. She tried her best to climb up one of the legs of the table, but it was too slippery. And when she had tired herself out for trying, the poor little thing sat down and cried.
"Come, there's no use in crying like that," said Alice to herself, rather sharply. "I advise you leave off this minute."
She generally gave herself very good advice, although she very seldom followed it. And sometimes she scolded herself so severely as to bring tears into her eyes. And once she remembered trying to box her own ears for having cheated herself in a game of croquet she was playing against herself. For this curious child was very fond of pretending to be two people.
"But it's no use now," thought poor Alice, "to pretend to be two people. Why, there's hardly enough of me left to make one respectable person."
Soon her eye fell on the little glass box that was lying under the table. She opened it and found in it a very small cake on which the words "Eat me" were beautifully marked in currants.
"Well, I'll eat it," said Alice. "And if it makes me grow larger, I can reach the key. And if it makes me grow smaller, I can creep under the door. So either way, I'll get into the garden, and I don't care which happens."
She ate a little bit and said anxiously to herself,
"Which way? Which way?"
holding her hand on the top of her head to feel which way it was growing. She was quite surprised to find that she remained the same size. To be sure, this generally happens when one eats cake, but Alice had got so much into the way of expecting nothing, but out of the way things to happen, that it seemed quite dull and stupid for life to go in the common way. So she set to work and very soon finished off the cake. And that's the end of chapter 1. Before we continue, I have forgotten one thing I was planning to do, and I've just remembered. I did intend to have a short break between chapters, and I was going to turn on a redeem, and you can redeem something you want, either Sean or, if you are willing, a Geha, to say. Give us a
"I
line.
am perfectly willing. Perfectly willing." Also, can I just say that that picture of Alice is absolutely terrifying?
It is. It's so terrifying. It
What
just felt
is
so
that?
odd.
I hate it. I hate it.
That was what they drew for the next piece. It's a terrifying picture. That is what the cake did to Alice. It is
Oh,
odd.
thank you, Kitten, for the hydrate.
And
I would hydrate too.
thank you for the head pat.
I'm going
Carrie.
to assume every redeem is going to be for both of us.
It's a good thing to assume. Yes. Now I need to quickly create that redeem because I had admittedly forgotten to do that. But that will only take a minute or two. And then we'll have a moment's rest. And then we'll continue if no one redeems anything. I'm glad you're enjoying it, little Baka. It's a little nervous, I will admit, but it's good now that it's...
This is fun. I like this.
Yeah.
I was very tempted to do my jester voice for Alice. I was very, very tempted.
Oh dear.
I mean, can you imagine if I just came out with that? "Drink me." "No, I'll look first and see whether it's marked poison or not." I'm sorry you're tired, Crumble. Have you considered napping? I love a good nap.
Oh, hope you've... Yes. Well, when you're tired, I hope you can wake up soon, Crumble, or find some rest somewhere.
Oh, thank you, Baka. Thank you. Arigatou
Oh,
gozaimasu.
thank you, little Baka. Yes. think I need just, too expensive. This is a limited time thing anyway. But this is going to be around forever.
Exclusive.
All right. There should now be a say the line redeem. Oh, Cammy! Why am I being attacked?
Why aren't you being attacked?
Ah! It waited! It waited! It waited! What the fuck? Wait, what?
You? Oh, you almost said a nasty word, young man. You almost said a bad word. You almost said a bad word. I'm looking at you.
I'm Australian. Give me a break.
Let Sean say fuck.
Oh, dear. Naughty Sean. Oh, thank you, Raga. Thank you. I'm a little behind on the celebrations, I'll admit. But this has been the one we were planning next. We're finally up to it.
You know what? You should definitely have a karaoke redeem. You should do a karaoke redeem like I do.
Well, how does your karaoke redeem work?
I have a list of karaoke songs that I think I actually finally published. And you can redeem for a lower point value random karaoke, and I'll just put the list on shuffle, and whichever one it draws, I will sing a lot. That was an entire bike.
It was?
Are you okay, Sean?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's lighter than the bear.
There you go. I kissed it better.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And for a higher point redeem, a person can just open up the list and pick a song from it, and I'll sing that one.
Okay. Yes, there's a bear.
There's a bear? Yes, there's a bear.
There's a bear. It's one of the possibilities. There's a bear.
I can hardly bear it.
We call that bear Atlas. Oh, dear.
It's unbearable. I think that redeem is totally possum. Because it's so funny. It's unforgettable.
Oh. You love it here, I dance? Oh, good. All right. Well, the say the line redeem is now there. So what we'll do, I think we'll move on to the next chapter, and any redeems that happen in that time, we'll do at the end of the chapter. That way we're not sitting around here waiting a lot. All right, back to Alice and... Oops, excuse me.
You're not excused.
Oh, please, I beg, please, okay, please.
Beg harder.
Don't make me. Oh, dear.
Don't worry, Sean, you're forgiven.
Oh, thank you. Anyway.
No, you still look so down. There you go. Cheer up.
Crumble, have you seen me with a gay hub before? Oh, dear.
It was worse before the stream started.
It really was. I mean...
Was that a little top of the head kiss?
Maybe. Anyway. Oh dear.
So chapter 2.
Chapter 2. The Pool of Tears.
Curiouser and curiouser, cried Alice.
She was so much surprised, for that the moment she quite forgot how to speak good English.
Now I'm opening out like the largest telescope that ever was. Goodbye, feet.
For when she looked down at her feet, they seemed to be almost out of sight. They were getting so far off.
Oh, my poor little feet. I wonder who will put on your shoes and stockings for you now, dears. I'm sure I shan't be able. I shall be a great deal too far off to trouble myself about you. You must manage the best way you can. But I must be kind to them, thought Alice, or perhaps they won't walk the way I want to go. Let me see. I'll give them a new pair of boots every Christmas.
And she went on planning to herself how she would manage it.
They must go by the carrier, she thought. And how funny it'll seem sending presents to one's own feet, and how odd the directions will look. Alice's right foot, Esquire. Hearthrug, near the fender, with Alice's love. Oh dear, what nonsense I'm talking.
Just then, her head struck against the roof of the hall. In fact, she was now more than 9 feet high. And she at once took up the little golden key and hurried off towards the garden door. Poor Alice. It was as much as she could do lying down on one side to look through it into the garden with one eye. But to get through was more hopeless than ever. She sat down and began to cry again.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, said Alice. A great girl like you. She might well sing this. Still your
Both went
line.
for it. No, he's fine.
To go on crying in this way. Stop this moment, I tell you.
But she went on all the same, shedding gallons of tears, until there was a large pool all around her, about 4 inches deep, and reaching half down the hall. After a time, she heard a little pattering of feet in the distance. She hastily dried her eyes to see what was coming. It was the White Rabbit's returning, splendidly dressed, with a pair of white gloves in one hand and a large fan in the other. He came trotting along in a great hurry, muttering to himself as he came, "Oh, the Duchess, the Duchess! Oh, won't she be savage if I kept her waiting?" Alice felt so desperate, as she was ready to ask help of anyone. So, when the rabbit came near, she began in a low, timid voice.
If you please, sir.
The rabbit started violently, dropping the white gloves and the fan, and scurried away into the darkness, as hard as he could go. Eep! Eep! Alice took up the fan and the gloves, and as the hall was very hot, she kept fanning herself all the time she went on talking.
Dear, dear, how queer everything is today. And yesterday things went on just as usual. I wonder if I've been changed in the night. Let me think. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I almost think I can remember feeling a little different. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I? Ah, that's the great puzzle.
And she began thinking over all the children she knew were of the same age as herself, to see if she could have changed for any of them.
I'm sure I'm not Ada, she said, for her hair goes in such long ringlets, and mine doesn't go in ringlets at all. And I'm sure I can't be Mabel, for I know all sorts of things, and she knows such a very little. Besides, she's she, and I'm I, and oh dear, how puzzling it all is. I'll try if I know all the things I used to know. Let me see. 4 times 4 is 12, and 4 times 6 is 13, and 4 times 7 is... Oh dear, I shall never get to 20 at that rate. However, the multiplication table doesn't signify. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome, and Rome... No, that's all wrong, I'm certain. I must have been changed for Mabel. I'll try and say... Dicks!
Who was that? Who was Lone Wolf? Well done, you. Well done, you.
I'll try and say dicks.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment. That was well timed. That was well timed.
I'll try and say, how doth the little...
And she crossed her hands on her lap, as if she was saying lessons, and began to repeat it. But her voice sounded hoarse and strange, and the words did not come the same as they used to do.
How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, and neatly spread his claws, and welcome little fishies in with gently smiling jaws. I am sure those are not the right words,
said poor Alice, and her eyes filled with tears again as she went on.
I must be Mabel after all, and I shall have to go and live in that poky little house, and have next to no toys to play with, and oh, ever so many lessons to learn. No, I've made up my mind about it. If I'm Mabel, I'll stay down here. It'll be no use their putting their heads down and saying, "Come up again, dear." I shall only look up and say, "Who am I then? Tell me that first, and then, if I like being that person, I'll come up. If not, I'll stay down here till I'm somebody else. But, oh dear,"
cried Alice with a sudden burst of tears.
I do wish they would put their heads down. I am so very tired of being all alone here. John?
I know. I know. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Snow.
Thank you, Snow.
Yes. As she said this, she looked down at her hands and was surprised to see that she had put on one of the rabbit's little white gloves while she was talking.
How can I have done that? She thought. I must be growing small again.
She got up and went to the table to measure herself by it, and found that as nearly as she could guess, she was now about 2 feet high, and was going on shrinking rapidly. She soon found out that the cause of this was the fan she was holding, and she dropped it hastily, just in time to avoid shrinking away altogether.
That was a narrow escape,
said Alice, a good deal frightened at the sudden change, but very glad to find herself still in existence.
And now for the garden.
And she ran with all speed back to the little door. But alas, the little door was shut again, and the little golden key was lying on the glass table as before.
And things are worse than ever, thought the poor child. For I never was so small as this before, never. And I declare it's too bad, that it is.
As she said these words, her foot slipped, and in another moment, splash! She was up to her chin in salt water. Her first idea was that she had somehow fallen into the ocean.
And in that case, I can go back by railway, she said to herself.
Alice had begun to see the seaside once. Alice had been to see the seaside once in her life, and had come to the general conclusion that wherever you go to on the English coast, you'll find a number of bathing machines in the sea, and some children digging in the sand with wooden spades, then a row of lodging houses, and behind them a railway station. However, she soon made out that she was in a pool of tears, which she had herself wept when she was 9 feet high.
I wish I hadn't cried so much,
said Alice, as she swam about, trying to find her way out.
I shall be punished for it now, I suppose, by being drowned in my own tears. That will be a queer thing, to be sure. However, everything is queer today.
Just as she heard something splashing about in the pool a little way off, and she swam nearer to make out what it was. At first, she thought it might be a walrus or a hippopotamus. But then she remembered how small she was, and she soon made out that it was only a mouse that had slipped in like herself.
Would it be of any use now, thought Alice, to speak to this mouse? Everything is so out of the way down here that I should think very likely it can talk. At any rate, there's no harm in trying. So she began. Oh, mouse, do you know the way out of this pool? I am very tired of swimming about here, oh mouse.
Alice thought that this must be the right way of speaking to a mouse. She had never done such a thing before, but she remembered having seen in her brother's Latin grammar.
A mouse, of a mouse, to a mouse, oh mouse.
The mouse looked at her rather inquisitively, and seemed to her to wink with one of its little eyes, but said nothing.
Perhaps it doesn't understand English, thought Alice. I dare say it's a French mouse, come over with William the Conqueror.
For with all her knowledge of history, Alice had no very clear notion of how long ago anything had happened. So she began again.
Oui, mon chat?
Which was the first sentence in her French lesson book. The mouse gave a sudden leap out of the water and seemed to quiver all over with fright.
Oh, I beg your pardon,
cried Alice hastily, afraid that she had hurt the poor animal's feelings.
I quite forgot you didn't like cats.
Not like cats, cried the mouse in a shrill, passionate voice. Would you like cats if you were me?
Well, perhaps not, said Alice in a soothing tone. Don't be angry about it. And yet I wish I could show you our cat Dinah. I think you'd take a fancy to cats if you could only see her. She is such a dear, quiet thing.
Alice went on, half to herself, as she swam lazily about in the pool.
And she sits purring so nicely by the fire, licking her paws and washing her face, and she is such a soft thing to nurse, and she's such a capital one for catching mice. Oh, I beg your pardon,
cried Alice again. For this time the mouse was bristling all over, and she felt certain it must be really offended.
We won't talk about her any more if you'd rather not.
We indeed, cried the mouse, who was trembling down to the end of his tail. As if I would talk on such a subject. Our family has always hated cats. Nasty, low, vulgar things. Don't let me hear the name again.
I won't indeed,
said Alice, in a great hurry to change the subject of conversation.
Are you fond of dogs?
The mouse did not answer, so Alice went on eagerly.
There is such a nice little dog near our house that I should like to show you. A little bright-eyed terrier, you know, with, oh, such long curly brown hair. And it'll fetch things when you throw them. And it'll sit up and beg for its dinner and all sorts of things. I can't remember half of them. And it belongs to a farmer, you know. And he says it's so useful it's worth £100. He says it kills all the rats and... Oh, dear, cried Alice in a sorrowful tone. I'm afraid I've offended it again.
for the mouse was swimming away from her as hard as it could go, and making quite a commotion in the pool as it went. So she called softly after it.
Mouse dear, do come back again, and we won't talk about cats or dogs either if you don't like them.
When the mouse heard this, it turned round and swam slowly back to her, its face quite pale, with passion, Alice thought, and it said in a low, trembling voice, "Let us get to the shore. Then I'll tell you my history. You'll understand why it is I hate cats and dogs." It was high time to go, for the pool was getting quite crowded with birds and animals that had fallen into it. There was a duck, a dodo, a lorry, and an eagle, and several other curious creatures. Alice led the way, and the whole party swam to the shore. And that is the end of Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Yay!
Yes, Alice doesn't have much to say in this next one.
Yeah, you want to take some extra people?
I wanted to take the dodo, right?
Yeah, Dodo's got the most talking. You have Dodo. Mm-hmm.
Okay, dodo. I need a dodo voice. Dodo?
I'll keep doing mouse, and we can
Why
alternate
she?
the minor characters as well.
Okay.
Oh, Nia.
So you're the mouse.
Have you never heard this voice before, Nia?
I think it was the mouse voice, actually.
Oh, sorry. It was the voice over here. Sit down, all of you. Listen to me. Shrill and high.
A hydrate. Thank you, Aussie Bucket Kitten. Yes, a good idea. Good idea. You just got up from a small nap while you're listening? Wonderful.
Ooh. Oh no, am I looking fuzzy again? I feel like I'm looking a little fuzzy.
Not really. Not really. You're about the same as you always were.
Okay.
It's not,
Okay.
you're not fuzzy like you were, that first time.
Oh, okay. Good. I don't want to be super fuzzy.
Yes. We had an issue when we were setting things up where a guy just turned incredibly pixelated, and we're not sure why. Oh, I'm glad you both enjoy. I'm glad you both enjoy the voices.
Is that why? Why?
You and me both, little Baka. You and me both.
Oh dear.
I mean, what? Hey, let's see.
Sorry, Geha. Do you care to repeat what you just said?
Just kill me, why don't you?
No.
Just kill me. It'll be faster.
You have to live. We can't have our fun with you.
I got told there's a bear. I'm trying for the bear.
Fair enough. It is there. I think there's about 20 different options, and it's only one of them. So you'll get it eventually. It's gonna hurt when it happens, though. It's gonna hurt when it happens.
Oh, I totally forgot that I was asked to do this. Hold on. Here we go. Been saving up my points.
Oh. Oh, yes.
I believe
You have to
Orca
send
and I
us-
were talking about that.
Oh, you and Orca? Oh,
I think it was Orca. I think it was Orca we were talking with.
all right. Well, yeah. What did
It was
this
like,
begin
yes,
then?
we have to make Sean play Bloodlines.
I didn't know Orca had played it.
I
Which is not
think it was
surprising.
Orca. It might have been someone else, but I think it was Orca.
It probably was Orca. I don't know what Orca does after all.
No one answered my question. What is the
Flustered?
question?
Flustered is when you get a little bit, you start to blush and get when someone compliments you. That's flustered.
The way that you act when you feel shy.
Yes, you feel panicked at an unexpected compliment.
You go ooh, 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 ooh. Bloop! Hello, Ghosty!
Hello, Ghosty. How are you?
So, like when I'm near my crush? Yes, precisely.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh dear.
Boop, bloop. Bloop, boop. Boopity bloop. So how's everyone doing tonight? How is everyone? Konbanwa, genki desu ka? Good evening, how are you? Get launched! Get launched!
Just launched me into the so high up. Free feed? Yes, you got free feed that time. That time.
Sometimes bloop happens. And then sometimes boop happens. And then sometimes you get launched into the sun. That happens too. Lift off. Oh my gosh, that is a way to get free feet. Well, it's not free because you have to throw bits at him.
You're literally paying me to get free feed. You're literally paying me. So
Can I go in the hood? Can you fit?
I think they
Can I fit? Can I go in the hood?
Oh, Golden Chaos, hello. We're just doing a reading of Alice in Wonderland. We're having small breaks.
Chaos! It's Kai's!
Kais? What did I say?
Hello,
Oh
Kais.
dear. Oh dear.
Hi, Kai's. We're reading Alice in Wonderland. This is my friend. I just linked him your Twitch.
Oh no, he's
No,
right.
no, he's right. It is?
Chaos, yes! Chaos!
Case. It's Case. Okay, we were both wrong. You said it like chaos.
I said chaos. That's what I tried to say at
You
least.
said it like chaos.
Did I? Okay, maybe. I don't know.
You're chaos.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, you know what? You know what? You know what? Now is perfect. Now's a perfect time to do this.
Fine. Fair enough. You are rolling the points again, my dear.
Wait, do I have to do it too? I redeemed it, so I feel like I don't have to do it.
Chat, do you think a gay heart has to do a feat redeem as well?
I don't need to do a feat redeem. I redeemed the feat.
Are you sure? Let's see what chat has to say.
I don't think I need to do the feat redeem.
Oh, thank you for the head pat. Ah!
Oh, nice banana.
Snow, have you not seen a feat redeem before? Oh no. Oh, Pink Phoenix says yes.
You know.
Yes and no.
No, I don't need to do the feat
Well, so far,
redeem.
yeses are winning. Ozzy Bucker says yes as well.
Okay.
We haven't got a single no. Everything else has been yeses and maybes. I think you have to do it with me, okay? Yes. If you do it with me, that prevents the awkward thing of me accidentally looking up your skirt. So yes, same time.
Okay, same time.
All right. So how about I'll move over here.
I need to see.
You stay over there.
I can stay over here. Okay. I need to see. Doo 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 doobity doo boop boop. Oh, you're getting bigger. I need to. I'm gonna zoom in all at once. Boop. Hello. It's us.
Yeah.
It's us. We're here.
Oh, Snow says no. Snow says no. I'm afraid you've been
Snow says no?
I'm afraid you've been outvoted, Snow. There's at least 3 yeses there.
There's too many yeses.
All right. Well, everyone,
Hello,
hello.
greetings.
Yeah. I'm Sean the Human, and this is
Ageha the cleric.
yes. And look, Aga has the most wonderful blue.
Oh, thank you. That's what you get for staring into my eyes. You get hit with bits.
Oh, you mean I get paid for staring at you? I could live with that.
I didn't think about that.
Yes, I'm Sean.
What have you come back to, Ghosty? Feet redeems. Feet redeems.
Feet redeems done in a way that isn't going to cause problems.
Hi, Mitzi. Hi,
Hello,
Mitzi.
Mitzi.
As you
Oh.
can see, we're both very handsome individuals with lovely hair. Show off your hair, Sean. Show off your hair. Take the hood down.
I'll take the hood. There we go.
Look at his lovely hair. Beautiful. His more two-dimensional hair and my more three-dimensional hair that loves to clip. I have a cute little bow in the back. I have a cute little bow.
Because we're doing Alice in Wonderland, and that is the official art.
And Alice is drowning.
Yeah, Alice is drowning in
And
the back.
Alice got wrecked.
Yeah, yeah.
She wrecked herself.
She's drowning in her own tears.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds so bad.
And I have a lovely little clasp on my lovely little hood and a lovely little corset.
Sean has
Sean.
a lovely amulet.
Little amulet with little physics. We both have lovely little hands. Lovely, lovely legs.
Yes, yes.
And finally, we have feet.
Look at that. Look at that. Yes,
And
yes.
I can turn to show that I have little heels on my little feet. And you're looking at my skirt just a little bit so you can see my thigh highs. So I feel more fan servicey than Sean.
All I can do is
Yeah,
wiggle
he
my
can
toes.
wiggle his toes. I can't wiggle my toes. I can wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yes, yes.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, okay.
All right, enough of that, enough of that. And this is how
Enough of
Sean
this.
avoids accidentally lifting up your skirt. Oh dear. Oh, thank you for the
need
head
to
pat. Not
zoom
not
back
holding
out.
amulets now.
Oops! I disappeared. Oop!
What else was back to
One
the
more
right?
time. There we go. There we go. Goodbye. He has liftoff. He has liftoff.
I'll come down
that's
soon.
me. Oh, that's me looking up his robe. I'm sorry. I'll just...
My goodness, Akeha, looking at Sean's undergarments.
No,
How?
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
But you were, you were.
Listen.
Wait, I'm not coming back. Why am I not coming back? Why am I not coming back? I think it may be broken.
Sean, are you in space?
I may be in orbit. I may be in. Oh, I'm not coming back.
You're like a satellite. What was that one? Oh, what was that one song?
Hang on, I'll unload and then reload the model.
Sean is in space.
Yes. There we go.
There you are.
We're back.
I didn't look. I didn't look that time.
Nope.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Yes. You were in space with us, Snow? Yes, you were. Back to it then. Back to it then. Back down to continue.
It is dark. It is dark in space.
It's very dark. And it was very bright in places. I haven't got much cover from the sun. Just nothing to catch the light.
So let's see. I need to be on the lookout for green stuff. Should I be the lorry too? Because the lorry has a back and forth with the mouse.
Sure. That's a good idea.
Okay. So I'm pink, blue, and green. All of my favorite colors. Then I am ready when you are, Sean.
One more. I just need to remind someone of something. Snow. I think you're not in the Discord, are you, Snow? You would have missed the announcement about the roleplay with the amulet and with the thing. You've got to reel it back a little bit. It was getting a bit too much, dominating chat a little bit too much. Happy to have you in my hood, but move away from doing the amulet. You're still welcome here. But yeah, we're starting to dominate chat a bit too
Yeah, not a problem. Roleplay just invites roleplay and it winds up taking over the chat, so there's nothing for streamer to respond to. But it's okay. It's okay, we love you.
Oh, we love you, and we're happy to have like you can do like one line of role plays of saying like you're in Sean's hood. We're happy with that. Just
You can be in the hood.
oh yes, another hydrate from Ghosty. You understand, Snow? Good,
Oh,
good, good.
hydrate. Okay.
After this hydrate, we better start. Chapter 3, and we're doing a lot faster than I thought we would. I feel like
We're
might
very
actually,
efficient at this.
yeah, I feel like we might actually get through it all, or at least good halfway.
Yeah, the parts that we actually have outlined.
Yeah, because I only managed to do half of the book. We can
That's
try
okay,
going
we'll just have to
forward.
continue this later.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to go back to the chapter we're actually on. I
Oh,
was
thank you
looking
for
how far we're down.
following. Case, thank you.
How dare you have actually, how dare I have been wrong about his name this whole time? How dare you
I
get
am
it
so
right?
happy. I'm so happy.
He's my friend. He's my friend, not yours. How could I get it
You
wrong?
never asked.
Any reason to say I've only ever typed your name. I've never said it out loud.
Oh, wonderful.
I have other friends named Kai, and it's spelled that way. So okay.
All right. Time for some more Alice in Wonderland. Yes. Chapter 3. A caucus race and a long tail. Sean almost said cactus race. That's not what that word says.
Can we call it a cactus race from now on?
A cactus race? A cactus race?
A cactus race?
Anyway, continuing on. They were indeed a queer-looking party that assembled on the bank. The birds with draggled feathers, the animals with their fur clinging close to them, and all dripping wet, cross, and uncomfortable. The first question, of course, was how to get dry again. They had a consultation about this, and after a few minutes it seemed quite natural to Alice to find herself talking familiarly with them, as if she had known them all her life. Indeed, she had quite a long argument with the lorry, who at last turned sulkily and would only say,
I am older than you and must know better.
And this Alice would not allow without knowing how old it was. And as the lorry positively refused to tell its age, there was no more to be said. At last the mouse, who seemed to be a person of authority among them, called out,
Sit down, all of you. Listen to me. I'll soon make you dry enough.
They all sat down at once in the large ring, with Mouse in the middle. Alice kept her eyes anxiously fixed on it, for she felt she would catch a bad cold if she did not get dry soon, said the mouse with an important air.
Are you all ready? This is the driest thing I know. Silence all round, if you please. William the Conqueror, whose cause was favoured by the Pope, was soon submitted to by the English, who wanted leaders, and had been of late much accustomed to usurpation and conquest. Edwin and Morcar, the Earls of Mercia and Northumbria,
Said the lorry with a shiver.
I beg your pardon?
Said the mouse, frowning but very politely.
Did you speak?
Not I, said
Said-
the lorry hastily.
I thought you did.
Said Mouse.
Also, I'm pretty sure you missed.
Yep,
you
That's completely the
mishighlighted
wrong
it.
person.
Sean made the mistake in the highlighting. Whoops. I proceed. Edwin and Morcar, the Earls of Mercia and Northumbria, declared for him, and even Stingand, the patriotic Archbishop of Canterbury, found it advisable. Another one, I get her?
Do I want to be the duck? I'll be both of the blues. Found what? Said the duck.
Found it.
The mouse replied rather crossly.
Of course you know what it means.
I know what it means well enough when I find a thing, said the duck. It's generally a frog or a worm. The question is, what did the Archbishop find?
The mouse did not notice this question, but hurriedly went on.
Found it advisable to go with Edgar Atheling to meet William and offer the crown. William's conduct at first was moderate, but the insolence of his Normans... How are you getting on now, my dear?
It continued, turning to Alice as it spoke.
As wet as ever,
Said Alice in a melancholy tone.
it doesn't seem to dry me at all. Oh, shoot, I'm the dodo!
Yep, you are.
A dodo voice. In that case,
Said the dodo, solemnly rising to its feet.
I move that the meeting adjourn for the immediate adoption of more energetic remedies.
Speak English,
Said the eaglet.
I don't know the meaning of half these long words, and what's more, I don't believe you do either.
And the eaglet bent down its head to hide a smile. Some of the other birds tittered audibly.
What I was going to say
Said the dodo in an offended tone.
was that the best thing to get us dry would be a cactus race. I said cactus race, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Look at me.
I thought it was intentional. Until you said that, I thought it was intentional.
What is a caucus race?
Said Alice. Not that she wanted much to know, but the dodo had paused, as if it thought that somebody ought to speak, and no one else seemed inclined to say anything.
Why, said the dodo, the best way to explain it is to do it.
And, as you might like to try the thing yourself some winter day, I will tell you how the dodo managed it. First, it marked out a racecourse in a sort of circle,
The exact shape doesn't matter.
it said. And then all the party were placed around the course, here and there. There was no...
1, 2, 3, and away.
But they began running when they liked, and left off when they liked, so that it was not easy to know when the race was over. However, when they'd been running half an hour or so, and were quite dry again, the dodo suddenly called out,
The race is over.
and they all crowded around it, panting and asking.
But who has won?
This question the dodo could not answer without a great deal of thought, and it sat for a long time with one finger pressed upon its forehead, the position in which you usually see Shakespeare in the pictures of him. While the rest waited in silence, at last the dodo said,
Everybody has won, and all must have prizes.
But who's giving the prizes?
Quite a chorus of voices asked.
Why, she, of course.
Said the dodo, pointing to Alice with one finger. And the whole party at once crowded round her, calling out in a confused way, Together, gay heart.
Prizes, prizes.
Prizes. Alice had no idea what to do, and in despair, she put her hand in her pocket and pulled out a box of comfits. Luckily, the salt water had not gotten into it, and handed them round as prizes. There was exactly one apiece all round.
But she must have a prize herself, you know,
said the mouse.
Of course, the dodo replied very gravely. What else have you got in your pocket?
He went on, turning to Alice.
Only a thimble, said Alice sadly. Hand it over here, said the dodo.
Then they all crowded round her once more. while the dodo solemnly presented the thimble, saying,
We beg your acceptance of this elegant thimble.
and when it had finished this short speech, they all cheered. Alice thought the whole thing very absurd, but they all looked so grave that she did not dare to laugh, and as she could not think of anything to say, she simply bowed and took the thimble, looking as solemn as she could. The next thing was to eat the comfits. This caused some noise and confusion, as the large birds complained that they could not taste theirs and the small ones choked and had to be patted on the back. However, it was all over at last, and they sat down in a ring and begged for the mouse to tell them something more.
You promised to tell me your history, you know, said Alice. And why it is you hate C and D.
She added in a whisper, half afraid that it would be offended again.
Mine is a long and sad tale,
said the mouse, turning to Alice and sighing.
It is a long tale, certainly,
said Alice, looking down with wonder at the mouse's tail.
But why do you call it sad?
And she kept on puzzling about it while the mouse was speaking, so that her idea of the tale was something like this.
Fury said to a mouse that he met in the house, Let us both go to law. I will prosecute you. Come, I'll take no denial. We must have a trial, for really this morning I've got nothing to do. Said the mouse to the cur, Such a trial, dear sir, with no jury or judge would be wasting our breath. I'll be judge, I'll be jury, said the cunning old Fury. I'll try the whole cause and condemn you to death.
You are not attending?
Said the mouse to Alice severely.
What are you thinking of?
I beg your pardon, said Alice very humbly. You had got to the fifth bend, I think.
I had not,
cried the mouse sharply and very angrily.
A knot,
said Alice, always ready to make herself useful and looking anxious about her.
Oh, do let me help to undo it.
I shall do nothing of the sort,
said the mouse, getting up and walking away.
You insult me by talking such nonsense.
I didn't mean it, pleaded poor Alice. But you're so easily offended, you know.
The mouse only growled in reply.
Please come back and finish your story.
Alice called after it, and the others all joined in the chorus.
Yes, please do.
Please do.
But the mouse only shook its head impatiently and walked a little quicker.
What a pity it wouldn't stay,
sighed the lorry, as soon as it was quite out of sight. And an old crab took the opportunity to say to her daughter,
All right, which of us is old crab, which of us is daughter?
I guess I'll be the daughter.
All right.
Ah, my dear, let this be a lesson to you. Never lose your temper.
Hold your tongue, Ma.
said the young crab a little snappishly.
You're enough to try the patience of an oyster. I wish I had our Dinah here, I know I do,
said Alice, addressing nobody in particular.
She'd soon fetch it back. And who is Dinah, if I might venture to ask the question? Said the Lory.
Alice replied eagerly, for she was always ready to talk about her pet.
Dinah's our cat, and she's such a capital one for catching mice, you can't think. And oh, I wish you could see her after the birds. Why, she'll eat a little bird as soon as look at it.
This speech caused a remarkable sensation among the party, Some of the birds hurried off at once. One old magpie began wrapping itself up very carefully, remarking,
I must really be getting home. The night air doesn't suit my throat.
and a canary called out in a trembling voice to the children,
Sorry. Did you want the canary?
Come away, my dears. It's high time you were all in bed.
On various pretexts, they all moved along, and Alice was soon left alone.
I wish I hadn't mentioned Dinah.
She said to herself in a melancholy tone.
Nobody seems to like her down here, and I'm sure she's the best cat in the world. Oh, my dear Dinah, I wonder if I shall ever see you anymore.
And here poor Alice began to cry again, for she felt very lonely and low-spirited. In a little while, however, she again heard a little pattering of footsteps in the distance. And she looked up eagerly, half hoping that the mouse had changed his mind and was coming back to finish his story.
And that's the end of chapter 4. Or chapter 3. Chapter 4 is the next one. Oh,
You can count.
yes, sometimes. Barely. Oh, well, that was good. That was good.
A few hiccups here and there, but
Yeah, a few minor hiccups, but nothing too serious. Nothing too serious.
oh, there's something in my eye, and I know my tracking is gonna get
I missed a
wonky.
couple of clicks. Mouse. Is Mouse talking to everyone?
I love the little mouse.
Yes.
Love the little mouse.
He's so
Love the
offended
little
as well. It's wonderful.
I mean, Alice is really offensive.
Alice is really offensive. Really offensive.
Talking to a mouse and immediately being like, let's talk about catching mice.
Yeah, let's talk about my pet cat and its favorite activity of killing your kind. Oh, I'm glad you're all enjoying it. A hydrate. Good idea, little bud. I mean,
And the
Ozzy
fact that
back
she's
again.
thought censoring them to like C and D, like, girl, stop.
Mm-mm. Well, we all know that Mouse hates the D. I was honestly expecting someone to point that out in chat, but no one did. So now I have to point it out myself.
Ugh, big yawn.
Remember, everyone,
Don't mind my big
this
yawn.
book was written in like 1850-ish, I think. So some of the phrasing is a little old-fashioned.
A little bit.
Just a little bit
little
at
bit.
times. Hello, Midnight
Hello,
Crystal.
Midnight
Hello.
Crystal. I wanted to say hi to
Oh, well, you did. You did.
You're on thin ice, boy. Bleh.
Oh, I'm with a Geha.
Yes, hello. I am Ageha Vercour, your mid-level cleric working outside of the Adventurers Guild. If you need a white mage, I need you to get hurt.
Yes, yes.
You can find me at Menhera Ageha. Bleh.
Yeah.
Bleh.
I'm trying to just give you a shout out so they can actually see your link. There we go. Oh,
Fantastic.
been covered.
You have been covered.
Hmm.
Wait, why is there a clip of that?
I don't know. Why is this
Clip
clip of your
my
end
stream
screen?
ending?
Look,
I cleaned up all of my clips.
apparently not. Apparently you missed one.
Apparently, I missed one.
Yeah.
This is just everyone take a look at my my layout. It's a cute layout. There you go. Have a look at my cute layout. I did it myself. Oh, I need to get back to streaming Portia. I think we're almost done with it. It feels like we're reaching endgame, and I want to finish Portia before we start my time at Sandrock. What are you sipping on, Sean? Just water?
Just water. Just water.
I have some strawberry lemonade, because I'm fancy.
Right, all right.
Why do I feel like he's planning something?
I've just remembered last time I did a fall celebration, I forgot to invite the siblings to turn up. And some of them weren't happy with that, or some of them were a little disappointed. It's like, oh, we would have come to karaoke. So I just thought they might want to listen to this. I'll just make a post there.
Oh. Thank you for the boop. Boop, boop.
Yes.
Thank you for the boop, little baka. I'm booping you. Boop. I wish I could actually. I don't have hand tracking, otherwise I would give you a boop.
I'm happy. I'm not happy you don't have, but I would be at your mercy because I can't do anything back. So if you had
Oh
to,
yeah, I would be booping your nose every other line.
Oh dear, oh dear.
But I can do this.
Yeah. Oh dear, we're hopeless. Oh, right, all right. Who's in the next one? Oh, this one is great. Oh, this will be fun.
This one is mostly Alice and the rabbit, yeah?
There is a section, if you keep scrolling down, there's a section about halfway through where there are like 8 different people all talking intermittently.
Oh, do we want to just like alternate them?
Probably just alternate them for ease, because I just took guesses of who was who.
Yeah.
But also, there's also Bill. I would love to do Bill.
Absolutely. Do Bill.
Oh, no, not Bill. Sorry, Pat. Bill is someone else who is also in this chapter. Oh dear.
Oh.
Anyway, we should get moving.
Yes.
There's been no say the line redeemed, so we should move on to the next chapter.
Mm-hmm. No one's redeemed any lines yet.
I'm honestly surprised and a little bit.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. No one wants to put words into Sean's mouth. This is new.
Or
this
mine.
is new. Yeah, well, yours.
They could make us say anything. They could make us say stuff together.
I hadn't thought of that. Oh dear.
It's rife for clipping. You can make Sean say anything.
Well, there are some.
You can
limits,
make
but
Sean
pretty
say, I
much
like
everything.
big feet and I cannot lie.
I would say that. That is fair game. That is fair game.
Everything's fair game.
Not everything,
Well,
but most
nothing.
things. Nothing too explicit or
No
illegal.
explicit stuff. No mean things.
Yes, no mean things.
No using it to be mean.
But if you want to
please
make us say...
Sean say he likes big feet and he cannot lie.
Oh no.
I'm begging you. You know what?
Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? You think you're doing, yeah. I wasn't quick enough. All right.
Go on, Sean. Go on.
Did you have a preferred voice for this one, Ageha? Mm-hmm.
I want you to do it in your perfectly normal voice so people can clip it.
Human voice. Wonderful.
Sean, you do it in your human voice, your perfectly normal human voice.
Yes. I'm Sean. I like big feet, and I cannot lie. There you go. I wonder if Mitzi's still around. Am I safe?
Perfect,
Am I
worth it.
safe? No, I'm not going to question that line anymore. Oh, I'm sorry, Ghosty. All right.
See? You all have so much power. You have so much power.
Oh dear, I'm glad you all enjoyed it. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
My, Ageha. Oh dear. Ageha is the cutest girl in the whole world.
I knew it.
Does that tickle your
I
fancy?
knew it.
Does that tickle your fancy,
I knew
Ageha?
it. I knew it. I knew it.
Oh dear.
I knew it.
Having fun with it. All right, let's continue. Chapter 4. The Rabbit
sends in a little bill. It was the White Rabbit trotting slowly back again and looking anxiously about as it went as if it had lost something, and she heard it muttering to itself,
The Duchess, oh my dear paws, oh my fur and whiskers, she'll get me executed as sure as the ferrets are ferrets. Where can I have dropped them, I wonder?
Hey, ferrets.
I love ferrets.
Alice guessed in a moment that it was looking for the fan and the pair of white gloves, and she very good-naturedly began hunting for them. But they were nowhere to be seen. Everything seemed to have changed since her swim in the pool, and the great hole in the glass table and the little door had vanished completely. Very soon the rabbit noticed Alice as she went hunting about, and called out to her in an angry tone,
Why, Marianne, what are you doing out here? Run home this moment and fetch my pair of gloves and a fan, quick now!
And Alice so much frightened that she ran off at once in the direction it pointed to, without trying to explain the mistake it had made.
He took me for his housemaid, she said to herself as she ran. How surprised he'll be when he finds out who I am. But I'd better take him his fan and gloves. That is, if I can find them.
As she said this, she came upon a neat little house, on the door of which was a bright brass plate with the name W. Rabbit engraved upon it. She went in without knocking and hurried upstairs, in great fear lest she should meet the real Mary Ann and be turned out of the house before she found the fan and gloves.
How queer it seems, Alice said to herself, to be going messages for a rabbit. I suppose Dinah will be sending me on messages next.
And she began fancying the sort of thing that would happen.
Miss Alice, come here directly and get ready for your walk. Coming in a minute, nurse, but I've got to see that the mouse doesn't get out. Only, I don't think, Alice went on, that they'd let Dinah stop in the house if it began ordering people around like that.
By the time she had found her way into a tidy little room, with a table in the window, and on it, as she had hoped, a fan and 2 or 3 pairs of tiny white kid gloves, she took up the fan and a pair of gloves, and was going to leave the room when her eyes fell upon a little bottle that stood near the looking-glass. There was no label this time with the words "Drink me," but nevertheless she uncorked it and put it to her lips.
I know something interesting is sure to happen, she said to herself, whenever I eat or drink anything. So I'll just see what this bottle does. I do hope it'll make me grow large again, for really I'm quite tired of being such a tiny little thing.
It did so indeed, much sooner than she had expected. Before she had drunk half the bottle, she found her head pressed against the ceiling, and had to stoop to save her neck from being broken. She hastily put the bottle down, saying to herself,
That's quite enough. I hope I shan't grow any more. As it is, I can't get out at the door. I do wish I hadn't drunk quite so much.
Alas, it was too late to wish that. She went on growing and growing, and very soon she had to kneel down on the floor. In another minute, there was not even room for this, and she tried the effect of lying down with one elbow against the door and the other curled round her head. Still, she went on growing, and as a last resort, she put one arm out the window and one foot up the chimney, and said to herself,
Now I can do no more, whatever happens. What will become of me?
Luckily for Alice, the little magic bottle had now had its full effect, and she grew no larger. Still, it was very uncomfortable, and as she seemed to be no sort of chance of ever getting out of the room again, no wonder she felt unhappy.
It was much pleasanter at home, thought poor Alice, when one wasn't always growing larger and smaller and being ordered about by mice and rabbits. I almost wish I hadn't gone down that rabbit hole. And yet, it's rather curious, you know, this sort of life. I do wonder what can have happened to me. When I used to read fairy tales, I fancied that kind of thing never happened, and now here I am in the middle of one. There ought to be a book written about me, that there ought. And when I grow up, I'll write one. But I'm grown up now, she added in a sorrowful tone. At least there's no room to grow up any more here. But then, thought Alice, shall I never get any older than I am now? That'll be a comfort, one way, never to be an old woman. But then, always to have lessons to learn. Oh, I shouldn't like that. Oh, you foolish Alice, she answered herself. How can you learn lessons in here? Why, there's hardly room for you, and no room at all for any lesson books.
And so she went on, taking first one side, and then the other, and making quite a conversation of it altogether. But after a few minutes she heard a voice outside and stopped to listen.
Marianne? Marianne?
Said the voice.
Fetch me my gloves this moment!
Then came a little pit-pattering of feet on the stairs. Alice knew it was the rabbit coming to look for her, and she trembled till she shook the house, quite forgetting that she was now about 1,000 times as large as the rabbit, and had no reason to be afraid of it. Presently, the rabbit came up to the door and tried to open it, but as the door opened inwards and Alice's elbow was pressed hard against it, this attempt proved a failure. Alice heard it saying to itself,
Then I'll go round and get in the window.
That you won't,
thought Alice, and after waiting till she fancied she heard the rabbit just under the window, she suddenly spread out her hand and made a snatch in the air. She did not get a hold of anything, but she heard a little shriek, and a fall, and a crash of broken glass, from which she concluded that it is possible it had fallen into a cucumber frame or something of the sort. Next came an angry voice, the rabbit.
Pat! 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 Where are you?
And then the voice she had never heard before said, Sure, then I'm here, digging for your apples, Your Honor.
Digging for my apples indeed,
said the rabbit angrily.
Here, come help me out of this.
More sounds of broken glass.
Now, tell me, Pat, what's that in the window?
Sure, it's an arm, Your Honor. He pronounced it arum.
An arm, you goose! Who ever saw one that size? Why, it fills the whole window!
Sure it does, Your Honor, but it's an arm for all that.
I believe that's actually supposed to be the rabbit.
It is meant to be the rabbit.
Well, it's got no business there, at any rate. Go and take it away.
There was a long silence after this, and Alice could hear whispers now and then, such as, Sure, I don't like it, Your Honor, at all.
Do as I tell you, you coward.
And at last she spread out her hands again and made another snatch in the air. This time there were 2 little shrieks.
Eee! Ah!
And more sounds of broken glass.
What a number of cucumber frames there must be, thought Alice. I wonder what they'll do next. As for pulling me out of the window, I only wish they could. I'm sure I don't want to stay in here any longer.
She waited for some time without hearing anything more. At last came a rumbling of little cartwheels and the sound of a good many voices, all talking together. She made out the words.
Where's the other ladder?
I hadn't to bring one, but I hadn't to bring but one. Bill's got the other.
Bill, fetch it here, lad.
Here, put him up in the corner.
No, tie him together first.
They don't reach half high enough yet.
Oh, they'll do well enough. Don't be particular.
Here, Bill, catch hold of this rope.
Will the roof bear?
Mind the loose slate.
Oh, it's coming down. Heads below!
A loud crash was heard. Ah, now who did that?
It was Bill, I fancy.
Who's to go down the chimney?
Nay, I shan't. You do it.
That I won't. Then...
Bill's to go down.
Here, Bill, the master says you ought to go down the chimney.
Oh, so Bill's got to come down the chimney, has he? Said Alice to herself. Shy, they seem to put everything upon Bill. I wouldn't be in Bill's place for a good deal. This fireplace is narrow, to be sure, but I think I can kick a little.
She drew her foot as far down the chimney as she could, and waited till she heard a little animal. She couldn't guess of what sort it was, scratching and scrambling about in the chimney close above her. Then saying to herself,
This is Bill.
she gave one sharp kick and waited to see what would happen next. The first thing she heard was a general chorus of,
There goes Bill.
Bill.
then the rabbit's voice along,
Catch him! You by the hedge!
then silence, then another confusion of voices.
Hold up his head.
Brandy, now!
Don't choke him.
How was that, old fella? What happened to you? Tell us about it.
Last came a little, feeble, squeaking voice.
That's Bill, thought Alice.
Would you like to be Bill?
Would I like to be Bill?
You don't have to be Bill.
You were Pat. I can be Bill. Well, I hardly know. No more, thank you. I'm better now, but I'm a deal too flustered to tell you. All I know is something comes at me like a jack-in-the-box, and up I goes like a skyrocket.
So you did, old fella,
Said the others.
We must burn the house down!
Said the rabbit's voice, and Alice called out as loud as she could.
If you do, I'll set Dinah on you.
Oh, hello, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. We're just doing a reading of Alice in Wonderland. Come in, come in. Oh, gee, it's you and
Come
you.
Take a seat. Curl up by the fire.
Well, take
Get
a
nice and cozy warm.
You might take a quick moment here just to say hello to the Raiders before continuing.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing, Jillac? What were you doing? Yes. Were you playing Grand Theft Auto? Oh, were you role-playing? Oh, we're covered again. I forget about this.
Hey, it's fine. Oh, your layout's so cute.
It's very nice layout.
Your layout's so cute.
Oh.
Oh. I love interior design. I really do.
Yes, well, I'm Sean the Human, and this is my good friend Geha. We're currently doing a reading of Alice in Wonderland. You know, the old story. Yes. So if you'd like to hang around and listen for a while, you're more than welcome. Yeah, the original. It's out of copyright. Some of the wording's a little old, but, you know, we have lovely pictures like this one of poor old Bill getting booted out of the chimney. Poor old Bill.
Up like a skyrocket.
Yep. Yeah. All right, let's continue then. There was a dead silence instantly, and Alice thought to herself,
I wonder what they will do next. If they had any sense, they'd take the roof off.
After a minute or two, they began moving about again, and Alice heard the rabbit say,
A barrowful will do, to begin with.
A barrel full of what?
thought Alice. But she had not long to doubt, for the next moment a shower of little pebbles came rattling in the window. Some of them hit her in the face.
I'll put a stop to this, she said to herself, and shouted out, You'd better not do that again.
which produced another dead silence. Alice noticed, with some surprise, that the pebbles were all turning into little cakes as they lay on the floor, and a bright idea came to her head.
If I eat one of these cakes, she thought, it's sure to make some change in my size, and as it can't possibly make me larger, it must make me smaller, I suppose.
So she swallowed one of the cakes and was delighted to find that she began shrinking directly. Sprinking is an odd term.
I'll sprinky. What?
What? What?
What? What?
Did you say something, okay, huh?
Huh? No?
No, no. Okay.
No?
We'll move along, and you just be a good girl.
I knew that would get you. Also, your eyes literally shot open as I said it. It was amazing. Oh. All right, we'll pause for a moment.
I'm gonna die. No, we don't need to pause. We need to move on.
As soon as she was small enough to get through the door, she ran out of the house and found quite a crowd of little animals and birds waiting outside. The poor little lizard, Bill, was in the middle, being held up by 2 guinea pigs, who were giving it something out of a bottle. They all made a rush at Alice the moment she appeared, but she ran off as hard as she could and soon found herself safe in a thick wood.
The first thing I've got to do,
Said Alice to herself as she wandered about in the wood,
is to grow to my right size again. And the second thing is to find my way into that lovely garden. I think that will be the best plan.
It sounded an excellent plan, no doubt, very neatly and simply arranged. The only difficulty was that she had not the smallest idea how to set about it, and while she was peering around anxiously among the trees, a little sharp bark just over her head made her look up in a hurry. An enormous puppy was looking down at her, with large round eyes, and feebly stretching out one paw trying to touch her.
Poor little thing.
Said Alice in a coaxing tone, and she tried hard to whistle to it, but she was terribly frightened all the time at the thought that it might be hungry, in which case it would very likely to eat her up in spite of all her coaxing. Hardly knowing what she did, she picked up a little bit of stick and held it out to the puppy, whereupon the puppy jumped into the air off all of its feet at once, with a yelp of delight, and rushed at the stick, and made believe to worry it. Then Alice dodged behind a great thistle to keep herself from being run over, and the moment she appeared on the other side, the puppy made another rush at the stick, and tumbled head over heels in its hurry to get hold of it. Then Alice, thinking it was very like having a game of play with a cart horse, and expecting every moment to be trampled under its feet, ran round the thistle again. Then the puppy began a series of short charges at the stick, running a very little way forwards each time and a long way back, and barking hoarsely all the while, till at last it sat down a good way off, panting, with its tongue hanging out of its mouth and its great eyes half shut. This seemed to Alice a good opportunity for making her escape, so she set off at once, and ran till she was quite tired and out of breath, until the puppy bark sounded quite faint in the distance.
And yet, what a dear little puppy it was,
said Alice, as she leaned against a buttercup to rest herself and fanned herself with one of the leaves.
I should have liked teaching it tricks very much, if only I'd been the right size to do it. Oh dear, I'd nearly forgotten that I've got to grow up again. Let me see. How is it to be managed? I suppose I ought to eat or drink something or other. The great question is, what?
The great question certainly was what. Alice looked all round her at the flowers and the blades of grass, but she did not see anything that looked like the right thing to eat or drink. Under the circumstances, there was a large mushroom growing near here, about the same height as herself, and when she looked under it, and on both sides of it, and behind it, it occurred to her that she might as well look and see what was on top of it. She stretched herself up on tiptoes and peeped over the edge of the mushroom, and her eyes immediately met those of a large blue caterpillar that was sitting on the top, with its arms folded, quietly smoking a long hookah, and taking not the smallest notice of her or anything else. And that is the end of chapter 4. We're at the caterpillar now. Oh, this is good. This is good.
The art is scary. It's so uncanny.
I know. It's like, especially, I'll go back. The giant dog, because it's still a puppy, but it still looks sort of intimidating. And then back a couple more pages. There's that growing picture.
Oh, the one with the
This one. This one is like, what is this? What is it? It's so terrifying. We'll go as long as we can. Admittedly, I've only highlighted like half the book with different people's lines, so it might be hard to continue if we get past that, so we might call it there. But we still got a couple more chapters left. I think I got about halfway through it, and I think it's 12 chapters.
Yes.
There's one or two more chapters left after this one, maybe only one.
We have it highlighted just before a mad tea party, so we have 2 more chapters.
Oh, good.
One.
All right, take this back to the right
Yes,
picture.
yes.
Do.
So we will get advice from the caterpillar. We will get...
We have a
Cayenne
stretch and a
pepper.
hydrate
Oh,
to
we
do.
have another feat.
And we have another feat.
We have another feat. Oh, thank you for the stretch. I need it.
The hydrate's pretty good too. Now for that stretch. Stand up.
Mm. Wah.
Yeah.
Very good. My shoulders are stiff.
Yes.
More feetsies time? Yep, more feetsies time.
Yep, more feetsies. It's Sean's stream. What would you expect?
What else would you expect but feet?
It's a very human thing. Every human's have feet. I maintain it's defendable.
I mean, feet are very human.
All right, should we do it one at a time this time, or?
Let's do it one at a time. It was hard to do it in sync.
Yeah, and we can make ourselves bigger. Whoop.
Wow, giant Sean.
Yeah.
Now I'm in your hood.
Yes, Giant Sean.
3, 5, 4, 5.
3, 5, 4, 5. I smell the blood of an Englishman.
Yeah, 2 for 1. You're getting double the feet.
Yeah, double the feet. You got it efficiently. Hello, everyone. Hello. I am Sean, the human. Yes. And a gay heart, you might want to move to either left or the right, unless you really want to be in the middle when I put 2 feet on either side of you.
I'll be over here. I'll be over here,
right.
sir. Just watching the show.
I'm Sean. I'm a normal human. Yes, I have human eyes, human nose, human mouth, and of course, human scale. But we're more than just our pretty face. We also have our wonderful amulet. Yes. Our hair as well. We have our wonderful ringed hands. See? With our very normal length nails. But there's more. We, of course, have... Where are you looking again, huh?
Nowhere.
Oh, I saw you. Yes. You're
Nowhere.
a good sport again, huh? We also
Nowhere.
have our wonderful
I'm not looking anywhere.
feetsies. not to
Yeah,
look.
don't wiggle them near my hands.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nasty. Wash your toes.
They are washed. They are clean. I look after them.
Wash your toes.
Do not instruct.
You heard it here first, folks. His feet are stinky.
No,
He's got
no.
stinky feet.
Right. My turn to be in corner. Your turn to be in center.
Let me just hobble over here. Let me not be crooked. Let me not be crooked. I'm kind of crooked. I don't know how to fix it. There we go. Hello.
Oh,
Oh, I'm huge.
you are huge.
It is.
You're gonna have to be big because you don't have the same fidelity of Zoom as I do. So you have to be big.
I can literally. I can be this big or I can be this big. Oh, there we go.
I
It's
think
kind of like
that's decent. That's nice.
It's going in and out. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Mage Havercore, your mid-tier cleric working outside of the Adventurers Guild. If you need a white mage, I need you to get hurt. I have pretty eyes. At least I think so. I have a cute little bow in the back of my hair. I have a pretty little hood that sadly I can't put up like Sean does. Pretty little forget-me-not brooch holding my hood together. Pretty little corset. Delicate little hands. I have a long skirt. Long skirt. Yeah, you better look away. Better look away. I have feet. I do have feet. I have feet that are covered in boots. Okay. That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
Head pats for Sean being a good boy.
Oh, thank you.
And I will move right back here. Here.
And it looks like we have a line redeem. Sure.
Ooh, what's the line? What's the line?
In a charming voice. What do you mean by charming? Because that's right. Do you want the deeper voice, little Parker? Or normal voice? Or I could do an even tone. Yeah. I assume you mean deep. Yes, okay.
Little Barker is the cutest and sweetest little girl.
There you go.
That's a good one. That's a good redeem.
Oh dear. This is limited time. This will not be staying.
Listen, I think you'd get a lot of redeems if you kept the redeem a line.
I might have to rebalance it. We certainly won't be staying at 300.
For more points. For more points.
Yeah. And I might have to put in some actual rules around it.
Of course.
Because I don't want it to be used inappropriately. And I also don't want to encourage people the wrong way. Must be good
Of course,
relationship
of
for Sean. Right, all right. What am I looking for
Let's
now?
see.
I'm looking for the page. There we go. I found it. Do you mind if I do the caterpillar?
I don't mind if you do the caterpillar at all. I was hoping you would.
Oh?
I think you spelled one of those words wrong. Michael. I think I know what he wanted you to say.
I know what he wants. I will know what they want me to say. All right.
I think you should say it as it's read.
I have a feet fetch. I know you wanted me to say that I have a feet fetish. There you go.
You got the 2-for-1 deal.
You get the 2-for-1 because it was fun.
I'm sorry. There's something infinitely funny about I have a feet fetch.
I have a feet fetch. I run after them all the time and take
fetch.
them to my master.
That sounds really strange. Maybe not.
Oh, which one of us is this for? Low. Okay, that's for you, Sean. That's for you.
There is freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky, And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly?
Ooh, I like that line.
That's
That's
a good
really
one.
nice.
I like that.
That's a really nice
I like
line.
that. What is that from?
Yeah, what's
What
it
is that
from, Midnight Crystal? Because that sounds great. Oh,
Welcome to the party.
welcome, Jekatana. And also, someone followed earlier. I didn't want to interrupt the feat redeem. Tagulu as well. I'm butchering that, I'm pretty sure. But yes, welcome to both of you. Erin Hansen poetry. Wonderful.
Oh, really? I didn't know Aaron Hansen did different Aaron. Different Aaron.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Oh, that emote's so cute. It's a
Jekatana,
cute emote.
you. What, we call you Katana?
Katanyu? Katanyu?
Ooh, Katanyu.
Katanyu?
Oh, God damn it, not that one. You've never heard that one, have you, Agaha? We had a Jackbox stream and Sean had to rewrite a joke, and that was the only way I could rewrite it to make it funnier. And then I had to say it. I played myself.
You played yourself.
Yep. Because it instantly became. I mean, I won. I won the round.
Because I won.
So it worked. Oh
Oh
dear.
my god. Oh god. Oh fuck me running.
All right. All right.
I appreciate you got my name right. We got it right.
You got it right,
We got it
Agaha.
right, Sean.
Wow. Nice. Katana.
Katanyu.
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 I just need to
That's so
remember it. That's the
cute.
hard bit.
Katanyu. It's like Katanya, but
He is very
new.
cute. It flows quite nicely. Katanyu.
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 Good on you, Katanyu.
Ah, I like that.
All right. All right.
All
We
right,
should
shall we?
continue. Yes. Yes.
The cat.
Actually, wait.
Chapter 5. Advice from a Caterpillar. The caterpillar and Alice looked at each other for some time in silence. At last, the caterpillar took the hookah out of its mouth and addressed her in a languid, sleepy voice. "Who are you?" said the caterpillar. This was not an encouraging opening for conversation. Alice replied rather shyly.
I hardly know, sir, just at present. At least I know who I was when I got up this morning. But I think I must have been changed several times since then.
"What do you mean by that?" said the caterpillar sternly. "Explain yourself."
I can't explain myself, I'm afraid, sir, said Alice. Because I'm not myself, you see.
"I don't see," said the caterpillar.
I'm afraid I can't put it more clearly, Alice replied very politely, for I can't understand it myself to begin with, and being so many different sizes in a day is very confusing.
"It isn't," said the caterpillar.
Well, perhaps you haven't found it so yet, said Alice, but when you have to turn into a chrysalis, you will someday, you know, and then after that into a butterfly, I should think you'll feel it a little queer, won't you?
"Not a bit," said the caterpillar.
Well, perhaps your feelings may be different, said Alice. All I know is it would feel very queer to me.
"You," said the caterpillar contemptuously. "Who are you?" Which brought them back again to the beginning of the conversation. Alice felt a little irritated at the caterpillars making such very short remarks, and she drew herself up and said very gravely,
I think you ought to tell me who you are first.
"Why?" said the caterpillar. Here was another puzzling question, and as Alice could not think of any good reason, and as the caterpillar seemed to be very unpleasant state of mind, she turned away. "Come back," the caterpillar called after her. "I've something important to say." This sounded promising, certainly. Alice turned and came back. "Keep your temper," said the caterpillar.
Is that all?
Said Alice, swallowing down her anger as well as she could. "No," said the caterpillar. Alice thought she might as well wait, as she had nothing else to do, and perhaps all of it might tell her something worth hearing. For some minutes it puffed away without speaking, but at last it unfolded its arms and took the hookah out of its mouth again, and said, "So, you think you're changed, do you?"
I'm afraid I am, sir, said Alice. I can't remember things as I used, and I don't keep the same size for 10 minutes together.
"Can't remember what things?" said the caterpillar.
Well, I've tried to say, how doth the little busy bee, but it all came different.
Alice replied in a very melancholy voice. "Repeat, you are old, Father William," said the caterpillar. Alice folded her hands and began.
You are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right? In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I feared it might injure the brain. But now I'm perfectly sure I have none. Why, I do it again and again. You are old, said the youth, as I mentioned before, and have grown most uncommonly fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door. Pray, what is the reason of that? In my youth, said the sage, as he shook his grey locks, I kept all my limbs very supple. By the use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box, allow me to sell you a couple? You are old, said the youth, and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than suet? Suet. Yet you finished the goose with the bones and the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it? In my youth, said his father, I took to the law and argued each case with my wife, and the muscular strength which it gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life. You are old, said the youth. One would hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever, yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever? I have answered 3 questions, and that is enough, said his father. Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you downstairs.
"That is not said right," said the caterpillar.
Not quite right, I'm afraid, said Alice timidly. Some of the words have got altered.
"It is wrong from beginning to end," said the caterpillar decidedly, and there was silence for some minutes. The caterpillar was the first to speak. "What size do you want to be?" it asked.
Oh, I'm not particular as to size, Alice hastily replied. Only one doesn't like changing so often, you know.
"I don't know," said the caterpillar. Alice said nothing. She had never been so much contradicted in her life before, and she felt that she was losing her temper. "Are you content now?" said the caterpillar.
Well, I should like to be a little larger, sir, if you wouldn't mind, said Alice. 3 inches is such a wretched height to be.
"It is a very good height indeed," said the caterpillar angrily, rearing itself upright as it spoke. It was exactly 3 inches high.
But I'm not used to it,
pleaded poor Alice in a piteous tone, and she thought of herself.
I wish the creatures wouldn't be so easily offended.
"You'll get used to it in time," said the caterpillar, and it took the hookah into its mouth and began smoking again. This time, Alice waited patiently until it chose to speak again. In a minute or two, the caterpillar took the hookah out of its mouth, and yawned once or twice and shook itself. Then it got down off the mushroom and crawled away in the grass, merely remarking as it went, "One side will make you grow taller, and the other will make you grow shorter."
One side of what? The other side of what? Thought Alice to herself.
"Of the mushroom," said the caterpillar, just as if she had asked it aloud, and in another moment it was out of sight. Alice remained looking thoughtfully at the mushroom for a minute, trying to make out which of the two sides of it, and as it was perfectly round, she found that very difficult question. However, at last she stretched her hand round as far as it would go and broke off a bit of the edge of each hand.
And now, which is which?
She said to herself, and nibbled a little on the right hand bit to try the effect. The next moment she felt a violent blow underneath her chin. It had struck her foot. She was a good deal frightened by this sudden change, but she felt there was no time to be lost, as she was shrinking rapidly. So she set to work at once to eat some of the other bit. Her chin was pressed so closely against her foot that there was hardly room to open her mouth, but she did it at last and managed to swallow a morsel of the left-hand bit.
Come, my head's free at last,
said Alice in a tone of delight, which changed into alarm in another moment, when she found that her shoulders were nowhere to be found. All she could see when she looked down was an immense length of neck, which seemed to rise like a stalk of the sea out of a sea of green leaves that lay far below her.
What can all that green stuff be? Said Alice. And where have my shoulders got to? And oh, my poor hands, how is it I can't see you?
She was moving them about as she spoke, but no result seemed to follow, except a little shaking among the distant green leaves. As there seemed to be no chance of getting her hands up to her head, she tried to get her head down to them, and was delighted to find that her neck would bend about easily in any direction, like a serpent. She had just succeeded in curving it down into a graceful zigzag, and was going to dive in among the leaves when which she found to be nothing but the tops of the trees, under which she had been wandering, when a sharp hiss made her draw back. In a hurry, a large pigeon had flown in front of her face and was beating her violently with its wings.
Serpent!
Screamed the pigeon.
I am not a serpent, said Alice indignantly. Let me alone.
Serpent, I say again,
repeated the pigeon, but a bit more subdued in tone, and added with a kind of sob,
I've tried every way, and nothing seems to suit them.
I haven't the least idea what you're talking about, said Alice.
I've tried the roots of trees. I've tried banks. I've tried hedges.
the pigeon went on, without attending to her.
But those serpents, there's no pleasing them.
Alice was more and more puzzled, but she thought that there was no use in saying anything more till the pigeon had finished.
As if it wasn't trouble enough hatching the eggs,
Said the pigeon.
but I must be on the lookout for serpents night and day. Why, I haven't had a wink of sleep these 3 weeks.
I'm very sorry you've been annoyed.
Said Alice, who had begun to see its meaning.
And just as I'd taken the highest tree in the wood,
Continued the pigeon, raising its voice to a shriek.
and just as I was thinking I should be free of them at last, they must needs come wriggling down from the sky. Ah, serpent!
But I'm not a serpent, I tell you, said Alice. I'm a...
Well, what are you?
Said the pigeon.
I can see you're trying to invent something.
I'm a little girl.
Said Alice, rather doubtfully. As she remembered the number of changes she had gone through the day.
A likely story indeed,
Said the pigeon, in the tone of deepest content.
I've seen a good many little girls in my time, but never one with such a neck as that. No, you're a serpent, and there's no use denying it. I suppose you'll be telling me next that you never tasted an egg.
I have tasted eggs, certainly, said Alice, who was a very truthful child. But little girls eat eggs quite as much as serpents do, you know.
And we have a raid.
Hello!
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Whoops, I just clicked a button. Now I'm at the back of the top of the document. Whoops.
Welcome, Raiders. How are you doing? Come on in, take a seat by the fire.
What were you up to, Reaper? What were you doing? Oh, Kimona as well. Hello. Yes, down the rabbit hole we go, Kimona. Down the rabbit hole.
Welcome. What were you doing? How are you doing? O genki desu ka? Are you good?
It's been good. Oh, Dead from T2. That's an old. A good moment. It has been a while for. It has been a while.
Ooh.
Golden oldie? Perhaps.
That spooked me. I thought it was
Yeah.
part of the clip, though.
No, I wasn't expecting it either. I wasn't scared this time, because I recognized that sound alert. Oh, clever, Shallow. Clever. But we're currently doing a reading, yes, of Alice in Wonderland. My good friend Agaya here.
That's me.
Yeah.
The cutest girl in the whole world. You said it so yourself.
Yes, and you certainly didn't, make me say it at all. No.
I didn't force it out of you at all.
No, you just, yeah. At least I was cheap. Oh, no. Yes. And this has been going very well. I'm very happy with how this has been going. This has been going amazing, all things considered. Yes, we are.
We are.
A silver tongue? You say inverted destiny. Oh, no. Oh, dear.
Ma'am. Like if you need help.
Blink if you need help. Both need help from each other. Oh, dear.
I can help you out.
All right, Fawncast. Enjoy your lurk. Have a good rest. I assume you've had a long night. Yes. You did.
We both need help. Save us.
Yes, we do. Oh, dear. All right. Let's continue.
I don't believe it,
Said the pigeon.
But if they do, why then? They're a kind of serpent. That's all I can say.
This was such a new idea to Alice that she was quite silent for a minute or two, which gave the pigeon the opportunity of adding,
You're looking for eggs. I know that well enough. And it doesn't matter to me whether you're a little girl or a serpent.
It matters a good deal to me, said Alice hastily. But I'm not looking for eggs, as it happens. And if I was, I shouldn't want yours. I don't like them raw.
Well, be off then,
said the pigeon in a sulky...
Well, be off then.
said the pigeon in a sulky tone. As it settled down again into its nest, Alice crouched down among the trees, as well as she could, for her neck kept getting entangled among the branches, and every now and then she had to stop and untwist it. After a while, she remembered that she was still holding the piece of mushroom in her hand, and she set to work very carefully, nibbling first at one, and then at the other, growing sometimes taller and sometimes shorter, until she succeeded in bringing herself to her usual height. It was so long since she had been anything near the right size that it felt quite strange at first. But she got used to it in a few minutes and began talking to herself as usual.
Come, there's half my plan done now. How puzzling all these changes are. I'm never sure what I'm going to be from one minute to another. However, I've got back to my right size, and the next thing is to get into that beautiful garden. How is that to be done, I wonder?
As she said this, she came suddenly upon an open place, with a little house in front of it, about 4 feet high.
Whoever lives there, thought Alice, it'll never do to come upon them this size. Why, I should frighten them out of their wits.
So she began nibbling at her right hand bit again, and did not venture to go near the house till she had brought herself down to 9 inches high.
And there we go. We finished chapter 5. Wonderful. And hello, Joy. How are you, Joy? How are you?
Hey, sure.
Oh, if you need to get some rest, okay, huh? Just say the word. Just say the word.
No, we only have one more chapter to go. I'm gonna do it.
All right. Just don't push yourself too hard.
Okay.
Oh, thank you to Eternity. I'm glad you think it's good. Because we've been going for almost 2.5 hours, which I am very happy with and a little surprised with. Oh, Inverted Destiny, thank you for following. Oh, good to have you with things. Yes.
Welcome to the crew. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the Wiggle crew. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Oh, thank you, Aussie Bucket Kitten. You get some rest then, I assume. Or do your morning activities, depending on where you are. Although you're Aussie Bucket Kitten, so I assume you're getting rest. That would make more sense.
Yes. Oyasumi nasai gozaimasu. Oyasumi.
Yes. Right, we haven't had any line redeems, so it looks like we can just keep going. Oh, I should probably mention for those who've just joined that Sean has turned on a say the line redeem temporarily. You can make Sean say almost anything. And we do those between chapters. Oh, are you sure you should head off to bed, okay? Huh? You are starting to yawn. It's okay if you must.
No, we have one more chapter.
All right.
I refuse.
Then why don't we start moving now?
Yes.
Ooh, we have a line from Luna.
Ooh?
Luna, do you have a preference for how we say the line? What sort of voice? Do you want to say as normal, Sean?
As deep as Sean.
As more shrill, Sean.
Or do you want me to say it?
Yes, or gay, how can I say it?
Maybe it's from me.
Nope, no preference? Yeah, I'll just take it that as normal, Sean, then. I'm in need of coffee. I actually don't drink coffee, so... Oh, dear.
Hey, I don't either. Do you do tea?
I do tea, but not a lot.
You're more of a hot chocolate kind of person. I got it.
I love hot chocolate. You're completely right. How did you know?
Because me too. Because me too.
Wonderful.
If I have a choice between coffee, tea, or hot chocolate, I'm gonna go hot chocolate every time.
Oh, my goodness, again. My goodness.
Let's go out for some hot chocolate sometime.
Just a quick walk to the other side of the world and we'll do it.
Yeah, just a brisk pace jaunt.
Yes. Oh dear. Mix your coffee? Showing you hound dogs, standing a little close, are we? Actually, no.
Yeah, you're a little close, aren't you? Mm-hmm.
Hello, actually, hello. No, but. Oh dear. Oh dear. She's sitting on his lap. I mean, it does actually look like that because I'm a bit bigger than you are. It does. That wasn't the intention, but it does, doesn't it? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my.
Listen, I don't do this for everyone, Sean.
Oh.
Feel special.
Oh.
Feel special.
I'm collabing with Akeha. They're a friend of mine.
Hi, that's me.
Sean, you lucky man. I am.
Them.
Yeah.
Them.
You can have a link. I did a shout out earlier. Can I grab it? I can't.
Another shout out.
Another shout out because I literally I could just have the link. but why
Watch
not?
it be just a clip of the end of the stream again.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
I swear I cleaned up my links.
Well, let's see what this time. There you go. There's the
So
link.
quiet.
There's
It
your
was so
link.
quiet.
It was very soft.
Am I that quiet on my streams? Or is it just that the
I
clips are quiet?
The clips are a little quieter, but I also think that was just a quieter clip. Because you're usually a bit louder than most of the times I've been in your streams.
I need to get back to Baldur's Gate with Chuffy.
You need to get
Chuffy's a
back to Baldur's
riot
Gate.
to play with. We need to get back to Baldur's Gate, yeah. I'm sorry.
No. You needed the sleep. You needed the sleep. You needed the sleep. You needed the sleep. It's fine. It's fine. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, for a second, the shadow was all over your face, and for a second, it looked like you were blushing. Oh.
Yes! Homemade hot cocoa! Thank you, Gothic Angel!
Oh, Gothic. Hello, Gothic. How are you? How are you?
Fuzzy blanket and hot cocoa. It's like they know. It's like
Actually,
they know.
yeah. A fuzzy blanket hot choco is wonderful. Oh, I use fuzzy blanket so much. Oh, so good, so good. All right. We should probably continue.
Right, shall we? Yeah. Last chapter.
Last chapter. Chapter 6. Pig and Pepper. For a minute or two, she stood looking at the house, wondering what to do next, when suddenly a footman in livery came running out of the wood. She considered him to be a footman because he was in livery. Otherwise, judging by his face only, she would have called him a fish, and rapped loudly at the door with his knuckles. It was opened by another footman in livery, with a rounded face and large eyes like a frog. And both footmen, Alice noticed, had powdered hair that curled all over their heads. Oh, excuse me, hiccup. She felt very curious to know what it was all about, and crept a little way out of the wood to listen.
The fish footman began by producing from under his arm a great letter, nearly as large as himself, and this he handed over to her, saying in a solemn tone,
All right, who do you want to be, Ageha? You do have some speaking later on.
I will be the frog, so you can be the fish, and we can have that back and forth.
All right.
Hmm.
May I make a random suggestion?
Sure.
The frog has a whole back and forth with Alice later.
Hmm?
The frog has a back and forth with Alice further in the chapter.
Oh, so they both have a back and forth with Alice,
Yes.
huh?
Well, hang on. Am I getting confused?
No. No, yeah.
Oh, no. It's the frog. Yeah, the fish has one
Yeah,
line.
the frog.
So if you want a back and forth with Shaw,
Oh, yeah.
you should be.
So this is the fish. Okay, yes, this is the fish. This is the fish. Then I will be the fish.
Yes.
You be the frog. Okay. Oh, what does a fish sound like? For the Duchess, an invitation from the Queen to play croquet.
the frog footman repeated in the same solemn tone, only changing the order of the words. From the Queen, an invitation for the Duchess to play croquet. Then they both bowed low, and their curls got entangled together. Alice laughed so much at this that she had to run back into the wood for fear of hearing her. And when she next peeped out of the fish footman was gone, and the other was sitting on the ground near the doors, staring stupidly up at the sky.
Yeah, Pee-Pee, early 1920s. This is what he
I'm
did
sorry.
before.
Pee-pee?
Sorry, not Pepper. Oh my goodness.
Pee-pee?
I had a moment.
Pee-pee?
I'm sorry.
Did you pee-pee?
No. Good damn it. Pepe. Sorry. I had a mental slip there. Oh dear. First mention of Pepe in written history is what Pepe had to do before Reddit and other things. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, congratulations, Noctos. Congratulations. We all pee-pee saw. It's not even shame. God damn it, actually.
Congrats on the GF!
Congratulations.
She thick and nice, best combo.
Especially the
Best
nice.
combo.
Nice is good. Nice is good. Yeah, congratulations. Wait, what?
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 Huh?
Exactly to eternity. Exactly.
I'm so confused suddenly.
Unexpected twist. Yes, actually, very unexpected. Very twist. Little concerned.
Stacy's mom has got it going on.
Oh no.
Stacy's mom. Anyway, I went timidly up to the door.
Yes. Alice went timidly up to the door and knocked. There's no sort of use in knocking, said the footman. And that's for two reasons. First, because I'm on the same side of the door as you are. Secondly, because they're making such a noise inside, no one could possibly hear you. And certainly there was a most extraordinary noise going on within. A constant howling and sneezing, and every now and then a great crash, as if a dish and kettle had been broken to pieces.
Please then, said Alice. How am I to get in?
There might be some sense in you knocking, said the footman. The footman went on without attending to her. If we had the door between us, for instance, If you were inside, you might knock and I could let you out. Oh. He was looking into the sky all the time he was speaking, and this Alice thought was decidedly uncivil.
But perhaps he can't help it, she said to herself. His eyes are so very nearly at the top of his head. But at any rate, he might answer questions. How am I to get in? She repeated aloud.
I shall sit here, the footman remarked, till tomorrow. At this moment, the door of the house opened, and a large plate came skimming out straight at the footman's head. It just grazed his nose and broke to pieces against the trees behind him. Or the next day, maybe, the footman continued in the same tone, exactly as if nothing had happened.
How am I to get in?
Asked Alice again in a louder tone. Are you to get in at all? Said the footman. That's the first question, you know. It was, no doubt, only Alice did not like to be told so.
It's really dreadful, she muttered to herself. The way all the creatures argue. It's enough to drive one crazy.
The footman seems to think this is a good opportunity for repeating his remarks with variation. I shall sit here, he said, on and off for days and days.
But what am I to do? Said Alice.
Anything you like, said the footman, and began whistling.
Oh, there's no use in talking to him, said Alice desperately. He's perfectly idiotic.
And she opened the door and went in. The door led right into a large kitchen, which was full of smoke from one end to the other. The Duchess was sitting on a three-legged stool in the middle, nursing a baby. The cook was leaning over the fire, stirring a large cauldron, which seemed to be full of soup.
There's certainly too much pepper in that soup,
Alice said to herself, as well as she could for sneezing. That was certainly too much of it. There was certainly too much of it in the air. Even the Duchess sneezed occasionally. And as for the baby, it was sneezing and howling alternately without a moment's pause. The only thing in the kitchen that did not sneeze were the cook and a large cat, which was sitting on the hearth, grinning from ear to ear. Ooh, we should probably move
Please.
ourselves, because they can't see the cat. They can't see the cat behind us. And they have to
can
see
move.
the cat.
They have to see the cat.
They don't need chat for a bit. They need to see the cat. No chat. Now you get cat.
No chat, only cat.
All right. Sorry. Back to you again. Back to you.
Yes. Where was?
Please, would you tell me?
Please, would you tell me? Said Alice.
A little
Oh, no,
timidly.
that's a lot of you.
Lot of what? Sorry.
A lot of you.
Oh, I thought you said that was a lot of feet.
No.
I don't know why that's what my brain heard. I'm just like what? What?
Sean, why do you always have feet on the brain?
I don't know. I just legitimately that's what I thought you said for a moment there, which is why I'm just like what?
Sean.
I'm sorry.
Sean, the feet man indeed. Maybe you're the footman.
I mean, I was, so maybe.
So please, would you tell me?
Said Alice a little timidly, for she was not quite sure whether it was good manners for her to speak first.
Why your cat grins like that?
It's a Cheshire cat,
said the Duchess.
And that's why pig!
She said the last word with such a sudden violence that Alice quite jumped. But she saw in another moment that it was addressed to the baby, and not to her, so she took courage and went on again.
I didn't know the Cheshire cats always grinned. In fact, I didn't know that cats could grin.
They all can,
Said the Duchess.
and most of them do.
I don't know of any that do.
Alice said, very politely, feeling quite pleased to have gotten into a conversation.
You don't know much,
Said the Duchess.
and that's a fact.
Alice did not at all like the tone of this remark, and though it would be as well to introduce some other subject of conversation. While she was trying to fix on one, the cook took a cauldron of soup off the fire and at once set to work throwing everything within her reach at the Duchess and the baby. The fire irons came first, then followed a shower of saucepans, plates, and dishes. The Duchess took no notice of them, even when they hit her, and the baby was howling so much already that it was quite impossible to say whether the blows hurt it or not.
Oh, please mind what you're doing.
Cried Alice, jumping up and down in an agony of terror,
Oh, there goes his precious nose.
as an unusually large saucepan flew close by and very neatly carried it off.
If everyone minded their own business,
The Duchess said in a horsey growl.
world would be around. World would go round a deal faster than it does.
Which would not be an advantage.
Said Alice, who felt very glad to get the opportunity of showing off a little of her knowledge.
Just think of what work it would make with the day and night. You see, the Earth takes 24 hours to turn round on its axis.
Talking of axes,
Said the Duchess.
chop off her head.
Alice glanced rather anxiously at the cook to see if she meant to take the hint. But the cook was busy stirring the soup and seemed not to be listening, so she went on again.
24 hours, I think. Or is it 12?
Oh, don't bother me,
Said the Duchess.
I never could abide figures.
And with that, she began nursing her child again, singing a sort of lullaby to it as she did, and giving it a violent shake at the end of every line.
Speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy because he knows it teases. Chorus in which the cook and the baby joined in. Wow, wow, wow.
While the Duchess sang the second verse of the song, she kept tossing the baby violently up and down. The poor little thing howled so that Alice could hardly hear her words.
I speak severely to my boy. I beat him when he sneezes, for he can thoroughly enjoy the pepper when he pleases.
Chorus.
Wow, wow, wow.
wow. Here, you may nurse it a bit if you like,
The Duchess said to Alice, fleeing the baby at her as she spoke.
I must go and get ready to play croquet with the Queen.
And she hurried out of the room. The cook threw a frying pan after her as she went out, but it just missed her. Alice caught the baby with some difficulty, as if it was a queer-shaped little creature, and held out its arms and legs in all directions.
Just like a starfish, thought Alice.
The poor little thing was snorting like a steam engine when she caught it, and kept doubling itself up and stretching itself out again. So that altogether, for the first minute or two, it was as much as she could do to hold it. As soon as she had made out the proper way of nursing it, which was to twist it up into a sort of knot, then keep tight hold of its right ear and left foot, so as to prevent it from undoing itself, she carried it out into the open air.
If I don't take this child away with me, thought Alice, they're sure to kill it in a day or two. Wouldn't it be murder to leave it behind?
She said the last words out loud, and the little thing grunted in reply. It had left off sneezing by this time.
Don't grunt, said Alice. That's not at all a proper way of expressing yourself.
The baby grunted again, and Alice looked very anxiously into its face to see what was the matter with it. There could be no doubt that it had a very turned up nose, much more like a snout than a real nose. Also, its eyes were getting extremely small for a baby. Although Alice did not like the look of the thing at all.
But perhaps it was only sobbing,
She thought, and looked into its eyes again to see if they were any tears. No, there were no tears.
If you're going to turn into a pig, my dear, said Alice seriously, I'll have nothing more to do with you. Mind now.
The poor little thing sobbed again, or grunted. It was impossible to say which. And they went on for some while in silence.
Did I make you crack?
You did. I smiled at it. Because it was good. It was
I saw
good.
it on your face. It sounded like a nut cracking.
All right. Alice.
Shall we move back to the center?
Yes. Oh, we can. Yes, we can.
Boop, 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 boop. Am I back in your lap?
You're a little off center for that moment. Nothing. It actually wasn't that bad. I just said you off center for the moment. But yes, you're on one knee at the moment. Nursing you on one knee. Oh dear. Sean has been confused. Yes. Oh, it's cute. Little pig.
Little baby pig. Little baby.
Yes. It's pink.
We don't know what color it is.
You're right, we don't. All right. I've completely lost my
You're
slider
getting
on.
tired, Sean.
Could be green, it could be green, could be brown and spotted. Alice was beginning to think to herself.
Now, what am I to do with this creature when I get it home?
When it grunted again, so violently, that she looked down into its face in some alarm. This time there could be no mistake about it. It was neither more nor less than a pig, and she felt that it was quite absurd for her to carry it further. So she set the little creature down and felt herself relieved to see it trot away quietly into the wood.
If it had grown up, she said to herself, it would have made a dreadfully ugly child. But it makes a rather handsome pig, I think.
And she began thinking over other children she knew who might do very well as pigs, and was just saying to herself,
If one only knew the right way to change them.
when she was a little startled by seeing the Cheshire Cat sitting on the bough of a tree a few yards off. The cat only grinned when it saw Alice. It looked good-natured, she thought. Still, it had very long claws, a great many teeth, so she felt that it ought to be treated with respect.
Cheshire Puss,
She began, rather timidly, as she did not at all know whether it would be like the name. However, it only grinned a little wider.
come, it's pleased so far, thought Alice, and she went on. Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?
That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat.
Very good Cheshire voice. I don't much care where, said Alice.
Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat.
So long as I get somewhere, Alice added as an explanation.
Oh, you're sure to do that, said the cat, if only you walk long enough.
Alice felt that this could not be denied, so she tried another question.
What sort of people live about here?
In that direction, the cat said, waving its right paw, lives a hatter, and in that direction, waving the other paw, lives a March hare. Visit either you like. They're both mad.
Oh, but I don't want to go among mad people, Alice remarked.
Oh, you can't help that, said the cat. We're all mad here. I'm mad. You're mad.
How do you know I'm mad? Said Alice.
You must be, said the cat, or you wouldn't have come here.
Alice didn't think that proved it at all. However, she went on.
And how do you know that you're mad?
To begin with, said the cat, a dog's not mad. You grant that?
I suppose so, said Alice.
Well then, the cat went on, you see, a dog growls when it's angry and wags its tail when it's pleased. Now I growl when I'm pleased and wag my tail when I'm angry. Therefore, I'm mad.
I call it purring, not growling, said Alice.
Call it what you like, said the cat. Do you play croquet with the queen today?
I should like it very much, said Alice, but I haven't been invited yet.
You'll see me there, said the cat, and vanished.
Alice was not much surprised at this. She was getting so used to queer things happening. While she was looking at the place where it had been, it suddenly appeared again.
By the by, what became of the baby? Said the cat. I'd nearly forgotten to ask.
It turned into a pig.
Alice quietly said, and just as if it had come back in a natural way.
I thought it would, said the cat,
and vanished again. Alice waited a little, half expecting to see it again. But it did not appear, and after a minute or two she walked on in the direction in which the March hare was said to live.
I've seen hatters before, she said to herself. The March hare will be much the most interesting, and perhaps as this is May, it won't be raving mad. At least, not so mad as it was in March.
As she said this, she looked up, and there was the cat again, sitting on a branch of a tree.
Did you say pig or fig?
Said the cat.
I said pig, replied Alice, and I wish you wouldn't keep appearing and vanishing so suddenly. You make one quite giddy.
All right,
said the cat, and this time it vanished quite slowly, beginning with the end of the tail, and ending with the grin, which remained some time after the rest had gone.
Well, I've often seen a cat without a grin, thought Alice, but a grin without a cat. It's the most curious thing I ever saw in my life.
She had not gone much farther before she caught sight. She came in sight of the house of the March hare. She thought it must be the right house, because the chimneys were shaped like ears, and the roof was thatched with fur. It was so large a house that she did not like to go near, till she had nibbled some more of the left bit of mushroom, and raised herself to about 2 feet high. Even then she walked up towards it rather timidly, saying to herself,
Suppose it should be raving mad after all. I almost wish I'd gone to see the Hatter instead.
And that is the end of chapter 6, and unfortunately the end of all we had prepared for the day.
Ugh,
I hope everyone has enjoyed this. This was a nice change of pace. And hello, Aki! I see you there. Oh, it's good to have you here, Aki. Alas, you have turned up at the end. But I hope you
But
enjoyed.
it's still been good to see you.
I hope you enjoyed the cat, Aki, the Cheshire cat. I feel like you would appreciate it somehow.
I love the cat. You had the perfect Cheshire voice.
It's such a cunning and clever creature. A little playful as well.
Reminds me of someone.
Oh. Oh, well, thank you everyone for joining us. This has been very good. Sean has Riz.
What's Riz?
Don't know.
I'm just gonna pretend that I know what Riz is.
Can you both say raw in the cutest voice you guys can do? Oh, we can do that.
I'm gonna show you up, so you go first.
Raw. That wasn't very good.
Oh, that was cute. That was
Really?
cute.
Really? Raw.
Yeah, that was cute. Bye.
All right. Your turn again, Hal. Your turn.
Okay. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
The ability to pull girls with no hassle? That's what Riz is?
Oh.
I
You do
most
have
certainly
Riz.
do not have that ability, but okay.
He has Riz.
Wait, what? Panic.
You have Riz.
Oh, thank you.
You also
Okay.
have Rez because you have a cleric right here.
Yes. I need the res. I might faint.
All right. You also sound tired, Sean. You should get some sleep too.
All right, well, we should see who we can raid then.
Let's absolutely see who we can raid.
Who do I know who's online? I know. Oh, Ten's doing his karaoke stream. Oh, we should totally throw the. He said the. Yes. We'll throw people over there. We'll throw people into Ten's karaoke
Absolutely,
stream.
absolutely.
That's a good idea. You have good fun with Ten. All right.
We should do this again sometime.
I am keen to do this again. I have a couple other things like, Dracula is also out of copyright.
Ooh.
And I feel like my deeper voice, I could try to put a little bit of a Transylvanian accent on it. I think it would be very successful. Ah, yes.
That voice got me feeling some kind of way.
Oh dear. There's also another classic Australian book called The Magic Pudding, which is out of copyright. Which I know.
Oh.
Yeah, I know Mitzi would love to see us do that, and I'd like to. Well,
Well, I would be happy to join you for any future endeavors.
we probably won't do them immediately soon. So we might do a second session of this to finish. No, maybe. We'll see. We'll decide. Interesting. All right, everyone. We're going to
find
go raid Tackless 10. Tackless is one of our VTuber siblings. And all right, a very good chap. You'll have good time with Tackless. Once again, if you haven't already and would like to keep up with Sean, please follow. You can also find us on Twitter, on TikTok. Yes, that's the thing. The TikTok. TikTok. You can also find
Tick-tock
us.
on the clock.
You can find us on YouTube, but I'll admit there's not a lot there, but it does exist. You can also, but the best way to keep up with us is to join our Discord. Yes, have a good night, everyone. Sleep well, sleep well. All right, if you're coming in the raid, then feel free. This is the official raid message. The humans have arrived. Feel free to replace the heart with your choice of emotes. If you're a subscriber, Sean would recommend this one. And then I'll do it again because the bot doesn't have I need to give the bot a subscription one time so I can actually say the things. This one, that's it. Yes. All right, everyone, you're about to disappear. Have a good time. We're streaming tomorrow.
Go.
See you then. Bye-bye. And they're off.